This movie sucks. It sucks more because you could tell the writers really wanted you to like a character that you know damn well you're not gonna like. So the film that I'm talking about today is The Voyeurs on Prime Video, a film that I really tried to do a commentary on Patreon, and Amazon was not having it. Amazon, it's an Amazon property, thus Amazon did not want me to talk about it. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the backlash that they're getting from other projects that they have on their platform. I'm sure that's not it. Since I saw it and I did not enjoy this film at all, I knew I had to talk about it. So we're just going to have to turn it into a review and discuss The Voyeurs. If you guys don't know, my name is Ali Robbins. I sell coffee and I talk about films on this channel, and it's a great time. If you enjoy that kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And now let's hop into this review.
Pippa, what did you do?
So The Voyeurs, based in downtown Montreal, is based around this character named Pippa and Thomas, who I will for the most part refer to as that bitch. And they are moving in together, I guess for the very first time. They've been dating for a while and now they want to make the next step. They move into this ginormous apartment in downtown Montreal. Like, one has to assume, who's the millionaire here? They're clearly spending $6,000 a month on this apartment, not even including utilities. They're super excited in the move and basically getting established in their apartment. We come to discover that Pippa is an eye doctor, or she works in the eye clinic, and Thomas makes jingles for commercials. I thought it was kind of a cool element to add because you don't hear of many occupations and characters in films, people that make jingles. I mean, I thought it was really cool. As they're getting comfortable in their apartment, they discover across the way, oh, look, we have some neighbors right across from us who are just doing whatever they want in front of their window. But we also come to realize that no one in this complex has blinds. Everybody is seen if you are anywhere close to your window or within a 3 feet range, because boy, you can see in everybody's apartment. This couple is just putting everything live for everybody to see, and Pippa and Thomas are watching. Obviously, it's just an innocent look. You know, they're just innocently staring. As the film goes on, it turns into an obsession.
You want to become BFFs with the neighbors we now seem to be stalking.
Thomas noticed it first. Pippa's like, hey, don't be weird. You know, you can't be watching them. It's kind of weird that we're doing that.
I don't think we should spy on our neighbors.
No, we're not spying.
And it's kind of weird that they're in front of the window doing that. Let's like mind our business. I'm like, okay, Pippa has common sense. Cool, that's great. As the film goes on, we realize, oh, she doesn't. She was just doing that so we can like her for some reason. You know, they're glancing over just to see what they might be doing next. And Pippa is little by little getting a little bit more lenient with her rule of not watching. And then it turns into her deciding to get binoculars because one of her best friends told her, hey, you should probably buy some binoculars and get some popcorn and, you know, see what they're doing next.
You pulled up a chair, popped some popcorn, broke out the binoculars.
And at first she disagrees because, yeah, no, it's not a good thing to do. And then she decides, hey, you know what? Why not? I'm bored every night. I have no hobbies and nothing else to do with my life. Let me go and spy on my neighbors. Her and Thomas make it like a nightly thing for them just to see what they're doing every night. Like tuning into the next episode of a show on television. They're noticing a thing. Sebastian and Julia. Sebastian is a very successful photographer. He's known around the area and he does really good work. And he brings models back to his house. And now he does have a setup in his house where he does photography. But the thing about it is that Sebastian has a lot of urges. Each model that he brings back to his apartment, he gets them naked willingly. They willingly do it, and then they fuck. And Pippa and Thomas are noticing this, and on one occasion they notice it and then they get off on it. While Pippa and Thomas are having sex, they're watching Sebastian and the model having sex. But the only thing about it is that Sebastian has a lot of stamina, more than Thomas, because Thomas comes so quickly, apologizing, of course, and Pippa is like, you know, it's okay, you don't have to be sorry, but clearly she's upset.
I'm sorry.
Because as she looks over into the apartment, Sebastian is still going at it. And boy, you can almost imagine what she's thinking in her head.
I wish I was fucking Sebastian right now.
Anyway, they're not getting really good advice. Now, here's the thing about their friend circle. Thomas's sister is dating Pippa's best friend. No one is good at advice. No one is good at analyzing the world in a logical way. So at breakfast, Pippa decides to, seeing as how she's been watching them,
I just wish we could hear what they were saying to each other.
the sister decides to disclose this information that she did not need to give, but Thomas used to do this kind of thing in college where
They figured out how to jerry-rig a laser pointer into a long-range microphone so that we could all low-key listen in on Kylie's private conversation.
So there's this like whole thing that this film tries to do, which is like make the characters really quirky. But if you don't make the characters likable, it's hard for me to see them as quirky. I'm only going to see them as annoying. So there's this like 2-minute breakdown of what it takes to do this very illegal thing that they're trying to do for them to be able to hear Julia and Sebastian inside their apartment. The only way they can actually make it happen is if they're able to put this whatever device inside their apartment. So guess what they do? Exactly. Another illegal act. They break into their house. Well, not break in, I'm pushing it. They invite themselves to this Halloween party that they have going on. How do they hear about this Halloween party? I don't know, but one would assume it's Halloween, thus they would probably have a party. They see them getting set up the day prior, so they're like, you know what? Let's just invite ourselves and let's just have a good time in the process. And they're feeling really good about themselves.
So how do we do chicken?
Mission accomplished.
Yes, that's what I like to hear.
Again, at the same time, it's like, film, you really want me to like these characters. The thing I didn't like about the characters was the fact that it wasn't even like this couple was like a couple of screenwriters and they're looking for their next big idea, and now they see this couple that could be the main characters in the next screenplay that they're writing, and so now their obsession is taken over because the story is growing faster than they can write, and now they're trapped. Now they're stuck between reality and fantasy. It's not even that kind of thing. It's just there's a character in this film that's boring. She has a boring life, and now she gets her kicks from watching another couple and then tries to put herself in that couple's life, which you see in a few scenes. And it's just like, oh my God, and I'm supposed to like her? They're able to get the device in, and now they're able to hear everything that goes on in the apartment. Now, by this point, Thomas and Pippa are kind of like becoming a little distant. Thomas was with it at first because it was kind of fun, but then Pippa just got overly obsessed to the point where she kind of ignores Thomas to a certain degree. And so Thomas is just feeling like he's just living in this apartment with a roommate. When he's giving her advice, she's not really listening to him. So he's getting more and more distant from her. Like, I'm giving you things and telling you things that you probably should do because this is actually tearing us apart, and you're acting like this couple across the way is way more important than us. After nights and maybe weeks, I don't really know the amount of time that's going by, but let's assume weeks, she's watching a lot of stuff going on in this apartment. She's seeing the models coming in and out, and the husband just going crazy on these models. And let's be real, the guy is actually very attractive, so I can understand how women can fall for him like that. He kind of has game, and it's just like, it came to a point where it was like, oh, is Thomas just jealous of the fact that he has game, and is a wife obsessed because he clearly has game, and they're just trying to understand how a guy like him could get all these women, and Julia is so attractive and he can't just be happy with just her? Kind of where I was going with it. We are led to believe that Pippa is like the best in the area when it comes to finding glasses, eye frames and all this stuff. So Julia, out of all the places, maybe the eye clinic that she was at was the only one in that town, but Julia happens to end up in this particular eye clinic, and she talks to Pippa. She gets her eyes checked out and gets glasses, and then because they had such a great conversation while they were going and analyzing her eyes, Julia asks her out like, hey, you know what, we should grab some coffee. I think you're a cool chick. Pippa, being the bitch that she is, says, yeah, sure. Finding it hard to have a decent conversation with anybody, so one would assume, how are you able to meet new people? You just have the hardest time finishing sentences and like staying in a conversation with someone and not sound like an idiot. Like, I'm just so confused. Julia drops this little bit of information about her getting a wireless printer and not knowing how to use it. So of course she talks to the villain of the film, and of course somehow knows how to operate a wireless printer. Thomas and Pippa, they might as well just be friends now, just roommates, because they're on two totally different playing fields now. Pippa is heavily invested. You would think that she is getting paid to watch this couple, and Thomas is living his life and really just doing his own thing. But like he's coming to the realization, like, we are in a relationship. We are living together. It hasn't even been a year. Like, I'm already regretting this decision. He's trying to help her understand, like, listen, like, you might want to like take a step back on this couple. Let's focus on each other, because this whole situation is tearing us apart. Because she's feeling like it's her obligation to tell Julia, her friend, about the things that her husband's been doing when she's not around. And Thomas is like, how about you don't do that though? How about you don't do that? Let's not do that. because it's really none of your business what happens. And in my mind, I'm like, you're going to have to answer a lot of questions. Like your questions are going to lead to other questions. Like you saying this, like if I'm in a house and like the person that I'm living with, that's my boyfriend, is cheating on me, and someone from around the way that I know lives in the same complex as me is saying, hey, I know that your man is cheating, and is very detailed about things in the house that can prove what they're saying is right, I'm going to ask, how the hell you know that? Like, right? Like, how would you know that very specific thing that you're telling me to prove that my man is cheating? Also, how do you know what our agreement is? Like, maybe I'm okay with them cheating. Maybe we have an open marriage. Like, I don't know. I just feel like she just was like stuck on her and her obligation and being responsible and being a good person.
So now I have the moral responsibility to do the right thing.
That it just made her like the idiot in the film. As Pippa is, she shares the information to Julia via the wireless printer and shares the very detailed information about how her husband is cheating and how she can prove it. Julia is distraught, very upset about the situation. She grabs a knife. She goes into the bedroom where Sebastian is sleeping, and she looks like she's about to stab him. Thomas and Pippa are watching this, and Thomas is kind of losing it. But I can also say that Thomas is also a simp, because while he knows that this chick isn't listening to him, and while this girl is clearly causing a lot of harm on other people because of her nosiness, he still comes back. And he believes that when she says, I'm not going to watch them, I'm going to throw the binoculars away, I'm never going to spy on them again, as they're in the middle of the hug, she's watching them and then grabs the binoculars, because it seems as if Julia may have stabbed herself. Like, Julia might be dead. Yeah, so Thomas is now like horrified. He is done with this relationship. He is not even in the mood to explain himself. He leaves. And Pippa, with her crocodile tears, is trying to make it seem like people are supposed to care that she's sad. And it's kind of funny because she's sad and she broke down when she saw that Julia might have been dead. But like when her boyfriend left her, and then what happens later on in the film, she never breaks a tear. She never cries. Oh my gosh, one would assume, is this chick really the villain? I can believe it if she is. So she goes to a moment of weeping because her boyfriend left her and she calls someone to get killed. And so she's sad, and then she goes to the best person that can give the best advice to her very terrible best friend. And her best friend convinces her, like, listen, it's not your fault.
You cannot blame yourself for this. Yes, it is tragic, but you had no idea that this would happen. You were just dumped. Yeah, maybe you deserved it. That part doesn't matter. You are a single woman, and it is common knowledge that the fastest way to mend a broken heart is to do the most unhealthy, fucked up shit you can possibly think of.
Yep. That's where the film went. He's now still being nosy and stalking the heck out of Sebastian, which makes sense because he's hot, but like I'm supposed to root for Pippa. So she watches him as he leaves his apartment, goes to the neighborhood bar, and she gets dressed and follows him to the bar. And watching him, how he operates around models, and also being told by him that he went to the bar to meet his Tinder hookup, she tries to act like she's unaware about what's going to happen when he brings her back to his apartment because he wants to take photos of her.
Would it be strange if I asked to take your picture?
Now, granted, he does want to take photos, but like she's already followed this man up to a point. You know what's going to happen once he takes photos of you. So again, we're still led to believe like we're supposed to be rooting for her and she's feeling bad. Oh, here comes Thomas, the simp Thomas with some dead ass flowers trying to win his girl back for some reason. But as he's in his apartment, and this thing that they have going on with the chlorophyll water, which if you guys never had chlorophyll water, it's gross. It's actually very, very healthy for you, but it's very, very disgusting. It's a thing that he's been drinking throughout the film, but of course this particular time he says that it's disgusting, but it's like, sir, it's always been disgusting. He looks through the window, as they all do in this apartment. They look through the window and he notices his girl getting banged out by Sebastian. That's all he needed to see. He can't believe his own eyes. It's a done deal. Yeah. I mean, I didn't feel too bad for him. Like, you knew what your girl was all about, but it is what it is. This is what's happening. Next day, Pippa leaves looking like the whore that she is. She goes into her apartment looking shocked that the door is open. She notices the flowers on the ground. For some reason, her eyes didn't stay straight. They just hit the floor. Obviously, dramatic effect for the film. She looks up and sees Thomas hanging from the ceiling. Yeah, he done offed himself. And she is sad. I say sad because she wasn't really crying. Like, she wasn't crying like she did when she thought she killed Julia. Oops. Spoiler. She's not that sad to where she feels like she needs to cry. Minor inconvenience. I need to go see what Sebastian's up to. And I think this is when they had the conversation, her and her best friend, about her being single. She was told by Sebastian that he has an art exhibition going on and he wanted to invite her. She actually just wants to see Sebastian because she wants to get, she wants to get banged out again. Sebastian's up there saying his speech. She kind of wants to leave because he brings up Julia and she's feeling kind of bad. She wants to go home. But no, Sebastian calls Julia up to the stage. Voila! Julia never died. Oh no, what happened? So I'll just let him explain.
This is the image release form they signed. It's the last page of their lease.
Pippa lives in the apartment we own across the way from our studio.
The whole time that they were watching us.
No, we were watching them.
Pippa's feeling all the way dumb because she got called out on the shenanigans that she did. She runs out after she is made a fool. And you know what? The film would have been great if it just ended there. And this is why the film sucked to me. She goes back to the apartment and actually finds this room where there's like pictures of her and Thomas everywhere and all the cameras are around. Like, granted, we have to assume that that place was always there. I was just like, you mean you moved into an apartment and then opened up every single door, every single closet before you officially moved in? That's what I would do. In the apartment I'm in right now, I opened up every single door and every single closet. I want to know what is here. Anyway, she's supposed to be smart now. She breaks everything because she's so mad that they embarrassed her in front of the whole town. Okay, no. I'm not buying it, Pippa. I don't care about your crying. I don't care about your tears. And then all of a sudden, somehow, some way, Pippa comes to this conclusion. Thomas didn't off himself. Julia and Sebastian were responsible. All right, film. I'll run with it for a second. Just give me a good argument and I might concede to this idea. Even though everything is falling apart in her life, she still can't help but to watch them. She still watches them. When Thomas was drinking the chlorophyll, he poured the water into this birdhouse that was given to Pippa. No one gives a shit about it. Later on, when she came back after she decided to move out of the apartment, she went to go clean it out and noticed that all the birds that had drank it are dead. And then she comes to the conclusion, Thomas couldn't have killed himself. Someone had to have killed him and then staged it. She does this whole thing after, I guess, giving them a bottle of wine that she drugged, and she gives it to them and she leads them out because she's on the top of the building watching them as she's sending messages to them through their wireless printer saying, I know what you guys did. You guys killed Thomas. He never would have did what he did because he's not that kind of person. Again, I want to hear the argument. So she leads them to the eye clinic. She comes to this really out of this world explanation as to why she believes that they're responsible. So supposedly, in her mind, since Sebastian was with her, Julia, and drugged the chlorophyll water, after Thomas knocked out, she dragged his body, hear me out, tied him up, picked him up, lifted him up, and then hung him there, and that's how he died. This is a theory that she has. This is not like a set in stone thing. Also, you're trying to have me believe that Julia, this really tiny female, was able to pick up Thomas, dead weight. But like the film literally wanted us to believe that was the situation because no one agreed to it being true, but no one denied it being true either. And I'm like, if I'm supposed to just think that that could be a realistic theory, well, you're dead wrong because I don't believe it. Julia, in the process, drugged their wine. And so now Julia drops down to the ground because she was drugged. Sebastian is drugged. The end of the film pisses me off. This is why I believe the film really wanted us to root for Pippa, and we're supposed to believe that she is the protagonist in all of this. We're led to believe that Julia is so strong that she picked up not just one body, but 2 dead weight bodies, laid them out on the table, burns out their eyes. All right, so this is what the film is trying to have me believe, causing them to go blind, puts them back in the apartment. We're gonna not explain that. We're not gonna explain how she got them back into the apartment. So now they're in the house. And now they're wandering their house blind. Now Pippa's done in there. She's out. She's not even in that apartment anymore. There's a new couple, this gay couple in there now. And they're noticing it. And they're like looking at them confused. Like they're wandering in their house like they don't know what's going on. Well, yeah, they don't know what's going on because they can't see anything. And then you have Pippa on the roof watching as like the super villain she is, putting the binoculars down and walking away and then turning back before the closing credits. And I'm like, first off, Phil, No. You really wanted me to think that that was cool. Now, why am I rooting for Sebastian and Julia? Why do I think that if the film ended after that exhibition scene, it would have been amazing? It felt like it would have paid off really well. But no, that's not what you're led to believe. We're led to believe that Pippa, yeah, she did that wrong thing. She deserves justice. Thomas didn't kill himself. He was murdered by Julia. So she was in the right to defend her boyfriend's honor, even though she didn't give a shit about her boyfriend because she didn't listen to him one goddamn minute. Let's just think about this. If Julia and Sebastian were not like the art themselves and Julia actually had killed herself, you mean to tell me that Pippa would have been A-okay? Or would she have really gotten arrested? Like, how would you even prove that? Like, I'm just saying, like, how would that even play out? Like, let's say they weren't really artists and Julia actually went and killed Sebastian. I'm just saying. So it's justified because this was all an act? No, she still was doing illegal acts. And her theory about Julia killing Thomas is still a theory. It was never proven. So now she's just walking away scot-free, blinding people and having them living in darkness for the rest of their lives just because she got called out anyway film. So I thought that was a very interesting, sucky film. I despised everything about it and it could have been great, but I already told you why it's not. You can learn a lot about what not to do when it comes to writing. When it came to the character of Pippa, you can't make someone quirky that I don't like, and you can't give them comedy that's not funny. Like, I didn't laugh really at all. Actually, the things that I did laugh at, I don't think I was supposed to laugh at. So if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely let me know in the comments below. Yeah, well, actually, let me know in the comments below, what did you think about the film if you saw it? If you've seen films similar to this, let me know what film it was and why you enjoyed it better. If you liked this film, let me know why. And if you didn't, let me know why. Let's not even get too detailed with it. If you liked it, let me know. And if you didn't like it, let me know. I already told you what I thought about it. I'm going to be doing way more commentaries, like I said, on my Patreon starting September 1st. This one just annoyed me because it took me so long all for it not to be able to be uploaded. So I was like, I don't care what happens, I'm talking about this video. I have delicious coffee that you guys should totally buy. It gets sent to your front door and there's so much variety. And if you like coffee like me, I think you'll enjoy it. Also, like I said, Patreon starting September 1st and every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Full-length film and show commentaries. It's going to be so much fun. So definitely click the links in the description bar below to check those out. And with that being said, if you guys like what you see, you know what to do. And I'll see you all in the next video.